والمرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. Alhamdulillah, we've offered the Salah. Now we'll actually go through the Lataf cleansing, and then hopefully we'll go through after transfer, after meeting our beloved Master Shaykh Ahmad Abbaq, and then we'll go to fairs after that. Try to actually then go whichever way Allah SWT wants to take you to, whichever mashayikh you want to visit, but try then end up in Medina Sharif. Masjid Nabawi, try to be there, as that is where our master is at currently physically, and try to actually then whatever nasihat, any problem you're going throughout the week, any difficulties, any issues they need get guidance from, then you can do that as well. Try and get some guidance for not just for yourself but for us as well, and then inshallah we'll get some feedback as well. So inshallah divert your minds to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and inshallah we shall commence. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض. من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء. وسع كرسي السماوات والأرض ولا يؤوده حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أستغفر الله أستغفر الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم وأتوب إليه أستغفر الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم وأتوب إليه اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين اللهم يا ربي بجاه سيدنا محمد ابن عبد الله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وسلم اجمع بيننا وبين سيدنا محمد ابن عبد الله في الدنيا قبل الآخرة اللهم يا ربي بجاه نور وجهك الكريم وبفضلك العظيم اجمع بيننا وبينك في الدنيا قبل الآخرة لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله 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 Allah, 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 Jalla Jalaluhu. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. Now you may slowly bring yourself back to the physical body, whatever guidance you're receiving, wherever you are, slowly bring yourself back. You can slowly give anybody who'd like to give feedback, you may do so, inshallah. Aziz.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Whilst I was doing the malatives, I could see myself cleaning the MURAQBA. And when I came to the side where the black stone was, the stone was a bright emerald green color, and light was emitting from it. When I transferred, I met Hazrat Sahib inside a cave, and had given him my salam. They mentioned that you can see this mirror, a whole piece. Then the mirror had cracks in it. They said these cracks in the mirror mean that a person has forgotten Allah Azza wa Jal, and now that evil will easily capture a person by influencing them from these cracks with the world to further distance him of Allah Azza wa Jal. Then a body appeared inside the cave, which was in chains from head to toe. They mentioned to get these chains off, one should always remember Allah Azza wa Jal. Then the scene changed, and Hazrat Sahib and me were inside the Mazar Sharif and had given our salam to the Grand Teacher, where they mentioned to the nearest meaning, people who forget their Lord will always fall to the traps which they have set in themselves. Then I returned to my body.
MashaAllah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. After the transfer, I saw Hasab in Oldham Zawiya, and then they mentioned that come and we shall go for a journey, and we ended up on a train, and as we are going to the destination, the train stopped, and as it halted, Hassan was making some repairs to the train, and they told me to do a few things, i.e. like you change the light bulb and you change a few other things on the train. And then from there they made a dua, and then the train went even faster towards its destination. As soon as we reached there and we came out of the train, it was as though that we were in Medina Sharif, outside the courtyard, and Hasab, you mentioned that you welcome the brothers in. The Hasab, you mentioned that you welcome the brothers into the courtyard, and you welcome them towards me. So I was actually doing that, and there was about 30-40 brothers I was going towards Hasab, and then they mentioned that come and we should all go. So we was there, and then we went inside Masjid al-Nabi Sharif, and it was as though that we was praying two rakat Salat al-Doba on each saf before we got to the Prophet ﷺ. And then while we got to the Jali Mubarak, it was though there was like a huge white light that was emanating from there, and the Jali Mubarak opened, and it was though that the Prophet ﷺ was just stood there, and I was extremely happy for all the brothers that are here physically. And then one by one Hasab then introduced each and every a brother to the Prophet ﷺ, by first name, basis, and again each and every brother got a special gift from the Prophet ﷺ, and then the vision sort of ended.
So the train you're referring to there, sometimes everybody has different vehicles in which they traverse on the path to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Some may walk, some may go by cars, some will go by trains, some with aeroplanes. And then what happened was that they told you to fix the train or the track? The train. So basically is that here is that one is that the track is like the train that you're saying is like the intentions and also the amal. It goes together. Amal and intention and ikhlas are more or less the same coin, and then amal. Once the intention, sometimes one needs to rectify the intention why they're doing something, because that's the thing which is carrying you, taking you towards the path that you're doing. That once your intention is rectified, why you're doing it for, and also when the practices that you do as well, doing the right method as well, at the right time, when these are like the fixing, intention, correcting your intention, durust karna, and then also going with that, just having good intention, I have a good intention, I have good intention, is not going to get you anywhere. So you just set the track right and set your destination right. But the thing that will take you there is by doing. So here is rectifying. Maybe sometimes a person is going towards certain destinations, certain places, but it stops. In other words, that your amal has stopped and needs actually mending, meaning that needs checking, seeing if this is correct, why have they stopped, what mechanism stopped, what has actually gone on. So getting a review from our satizas and getting some advice in this here, and then seeing where the fault is, and once it's mended, i.e. you get back on track again, intention is correct, and then your focus and your motivation is all there, and then you start performing your deeds again it starts journeying and it takes you to your destination. So really what we should be seeing and considering ourselves is that one of the most crucial thing, which I don't know, myself as well, is a lot of you brothers that are here are elderly, mean that you've been here, what we say is Purana Sate, this is what we're saying, you guys, your brothers have been here for a while and so on. So sometimes it's harder to acknowledge that there's some issues and problems. It's more sometimes, but not harder, but what we say is that it's embarrassing to say, yeah, there's actually a bit of issue here. How can I have been here for 10 years, 12 years? I'm talking about myself. So it's embarrassing. So you feel embarrassed to go to Hazrat, you feel embarrassed to go to your brothers because what will they think? What will they say? How has happened? So it really is, whoever you are, whatever you are, it's not how long you've been. It's not how old you are, or how long you've been, or what will other people think. Forget that. जब आप कब्र में जाएंगे, then when you will go to the grave, then you realize. So that person, what he's going to think, his thought is not going to stop the malaika or angel of death or anyone else. So you might as well get yourself rectified now, see, and then get back on that journey again. Even if you're Purane, or if you're new, old, relatively old, expert, non-expert, even to this day, we consult and we ask our own brothers. By the way, brother, listen, we have, unfortunately, maybe this thing we have forgotten, where we're asking one another, listen, how did you overcome this? How was that I'm going through a bit of a problem here? How have you actually managed to overcome it? What was the way you did this? What we're talking about business. By the head, you got a new business. Yeah. How's that going? I heard you got this. So dunya vich, bivi kaise hai, I'm having problem. This is what we're doing. Rather than talking about like the Sahaba radhiyallahu ajma'in, there's a kayf asbat, how is your iman today? We don't ask that question. We don't say how is your iman. how was your day? Yeah. In other words, is that how much enjoyment have you had and how much pleasure have you had? So they can compare and contrast whether I've had that enjoyment or not, or whether I've had that pleasure or not. So whoever you are, whatever you are, is that which vehicle are you going? Some of us have a car that breaks down. In other words, that our motives, our intentions are like the car, and our aim is like the car, but it breaks down. Some of us are like have got camels and horses. Some of us are walking. But the important thing is to be on the track. Is to be on the track and keep on traversing. Because just by saying Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, Summa Alhamdulillah, I'm on the track, and you stopped, you'll never get to your destination. So Alhamdulillah, I'm going to the gatherings. Alhamdulillah, I've been here for 10 years, 12 years. Alhamdulillah, I actually do some work with the deen as well. Alhamdulillah. That will be enough. Every single one of us, if take it from me, is that whatever your personal journey is, whatever amal that you've been given, if you stop that, illa mashallah, if you've been told think it that has no, there is nobody who even, I'm telling you, our own master, they still do amals and askar their own. And who is me and you? It doesn't mean, what we think is that, oh yeah, this is for tazkiyah. Then is that the azkars and amals for elevation, high level elevation and so on. But for me and you, we think, I have got this now. Yes, alhamdulillah. I don't need to do any amals. I say I'm done now. What? Why I'm Amir of this? I'm responsible for this. I'm responsible for that. This is sufficient. This actually covers all my amals and deeds. I'd like to see, please show me where in the course of purification it said that. Please do show me what it says. It says that this is what Shaykh Ahmad Abbas said, the Mashayikh said, is that if you're doing charity work, alhamdulillah, if you're doing finance work, alhamdulillah, if you're doing media work, alhamdulillah, if you're doing where were your charity work, where was your media work, where was your administration work, where was that before you met Hazrat Sahib? Did you come for that? Admin work, media work, financial work, dawah work, or did you come for you, myself, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and how can I connect and get to Him? That's on the side, as added bonus if you can help, but we are neglecting our personal journey, our personal amals, our personal thing. So that vehicle of conveyance, maybe you had an aeroplane before, you were going shooting when you first came, you're rocketing and flying, as they say, then all of a sudden the fuel ran out, or it stopped. So you came tumbling down, maybe now you're on a car or you're on a train and you're stopping. You need to now find whether you've stopped or not. And if you have, mend it, fix it, and get that vehicle back moving again so that you can actually get towards the qurb and pleasure. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Take your next person.
Transferred and found our blessed teacher outside the graveyard in Fez. I gave salam and followed Hazrat Sahib to the mazar of the grand teacher. We then went inside and I could see the name of Allah shining in the sky. At this moment I could hear a voice and they said to the nearest meaning that, "Oh son, let go of everything, become free, forget everything, surrender yourself and become nothing." As this was mentioned, I transferred outside, Mr. Nabi and sat with Hazrat Sahib. They then mentioned to the nearest meaning that submitting to one's teacher is submitting to the Prophet ﷺ. So the grand teacher is mentioning for one to benefit, one should forget everything he knows, his amals, his deeds, everything. Only then can one benefit from his teacher and the blessings of Allah. Further guidance was given about Tawbah, but I can't recall the rest.
Even this is a golden principle, is forgetting everything once. When you to really, there's such a nasir that's been given, is that, like I was saying on Tuesday, on Tuesday's gathering, is that really we need to let these things sort of enter our hearts, our minds, and really let it penetrate into it and deeply, so that we can really understand what is being said. So when they say that when in the presence of one shaykh, is that forget everything, you know anything, completely empty yourself. until you do that really and completely submit yourself, you will not go anywhere near Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. In other words, is that because if you can't learn to submit to one's teacher, a guide, a teacher, then how will you learn to submit to Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam? In other words, is that if you have any other baggages of thoughts or any ideas and any other ways of doing things, if he Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam tells you, do this, and you say, no, I know better, your iman is in danger. Hence why we are told again and again, this golden principle is that empty yourself, rid of your any thoughts and baggages, whatever you think is this, no, forget it, and completely immerse and mold yourself to the ideas, ideologies, and mindset of one's share. That is then your fruit, your access, your guide towards getting access to the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. The sooner you can do that, the sooner you'll be in the presence. Like you saw yourself melting. Melting is a sign of when you become in fana'iyat of one share. That is when you reach Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So when one melts, in other words, your desires, your thoughts, everything is melting, you submit it, because there's nothing left now of you, is there? You melted yourself. It's when it was that my desires, my thoughts is all gone, that's it. What are you then? You're nothing. That is when you find Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. That's when you get to the Prophet. When you come from fana'iyat in one shaykh, fana fi shaykh, then you actually become in the presence of Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and you can benefit there. Then you need to melt in front of Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam to get to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. In other words, your desires, your thoughts, whatever it is, again to a next level, high level, will then takes you towards Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. So golden guide is that this is a very good principle of how to actually follow one's guide and what sort of mindset you're supposed to have, really, of how to actually benefit and get to the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam the quickest way.
After I transferred, we came into Oldham Zawiya, and everyone linked with Ustad Gas, as if Ustad Gas was taking us somewhere. Then we ended up in fairs in front of Hassab, outside the Mazar of Sayyid Abdul Aziz at the bar, and Hassab were happy, as they were saying, as few of you came today, I'm going to take you somewhere special. All the brothers were there, Ustad Qais was there, Hassab was there. Then we transferred to Masjid al-Nabawi, and after that we transferred into a different place. It was like Noor everywhere and Anwar everywhere, and we were sat in front of in a semicircle, and Hassab was sat like they usually sit in the majlis, and it was like we were sat on a glass floor. There was no, you could see through it. There was no, it was like floating, but there was a floor, but it was made out of glass, and everyone was wearing clothes out of Noor. And then Hassab presented fruit on a silver tray, and everyone started to eat the fruit. And then they asked if there was any questions, and asked for some guidance, personal guidance, and they mentioned that don't think about your problems, and to notice me, don't think about your problems and issues in this life, think about your problems and issues in the next life, as in how you're going to cross the sirat, how you're going to be on the day of judgment. And then after this, I asked for guidance, of general guidance for everybody, and they mentioned that tell everyone to no matter what happens, to stay steadfast. And then after this, the vision finished.
Haqiqat we say here, because basically that the problems, everybody is always saying, oh brother, don't talk to me about it, you give them that, come to the majlis, oh I have problems brother, you don't understand, oh sister, you don't understand, I have so many problems, my husband's giving problem, family problem, relative problem, financial problem, we have problems. But the problems of akhirah in reality will seem, the problem of this world when compared to the problem of akhirah will seem nothing whatsoever. Hence why you've been said is that listen, focus on the problems that you're going to have for akhir, worry about that, because that is the real problem. Because if you cannot pass those issues and obstacles which is going to be in akhirah, this world is nothing. It's only a temporal world and temporal problems. But these problems will go away as soon as you actually close your eyes, and that's it. Whereas then the afterlife is forever and ever. That is a real problem to concern to have. That is definitely true. And then istiqamat, that is reality, istiqamat, steadfastness is the key to everything. That whatever instructions you've been given, whatever amals you've been given, askars you've been given, whatever you be steadfast on it. That really your problems will go is because we're not actually steadfast. That's why problems are coming. Be steadfast on whatever we've been instructed, inshallah. As you'll see, these problems will be very easy to handle, and it will not seem like a problem as such. Okay. We have a feedback from one of the sisters here is that from today, I transferred and met our teacher. They took me towards Medina Sharif. As I was walking, I could see all noor shining, and it felt like as I was walking through a bunch of clouds. As I was getting closer and closer to the blessed masjid, I could see people praying outside the masjid. When I entered the masjid, I saw everyone getting ready for the gathering of our teacher, and then said to the nearest meeting, "You may sit in the majlis, as you have not had time to sit in the ones which have been broadcasted live of your busy schedule." I then sat in the majlis, and our teacher, just for this in itself is a great blessing that sisters, they are never deprived of anything really. Look at this, that if you are busy cleaning or cooking and so on, there is no deprivation. Allah SWT gives you extra fazl and blessings, and the Mashayikh bless you even further with these. So, one is listening, and then one is spiritually then sitting in this gathering. What a great blessing it is in itself. I then sat in the majlis, and our teacher then began the bayan to the nearest me. They said, each and every person is on their own journey. What others do should not bother you. So this is something that we really need to focus. That's what I was saying before, is that focus on your own path. Focus on your own journey. That person, oh, he's doing this, or he's doing that, he's been given this one or that responsibility, or they're actually on this task. Forget that. You've got your own journey, worry about that. Focus on that. Or that person seeing he's getting this and he's getting that. It doesn't matter. So each and every one person is on their own journey. What others do should not bother you. Rather, you should focus on yourself and how you're doing, and are you becoming a better person or not. Yahi sahi search that this right mindset is how to see. It's not whether I have been given this position or not, amirship or not, title or not, respect or not. Rather, I should be seeing, am I, by the duration of the time that I had the sohbat of my teacher and being on the path, am I becoming a better human being or not? Am I becoming a better brother or not? Am I becoming a better sister or not? Am I becoming a better mother or not? That is the thing that we should be focused on. Our mindset should be. That is how we should become. That's how we should behave. And seeing, judging ourselves. If people want to judge, how many visions have you had? Oh, I have this many. And how many? Which level of vision have you got? Oh, I've been here. That is how you should be judging. Judge yourself on amals, on deeds, of actually conduct and character. How you're basing yourself. So each and every person should be busy with their own journey, and others should not bother. Rather, you should focus on yourself and how you're doing and becoming a better person or not. Always have a good heart towards others. Gem of an asiyah. Is that is it going to hurt you to have a good opinion of somebody? To thinking good? Is it going to hurt you? No nuksan. It's like the story the Mashah said, is that imagine if you are humble, it's like you're on the lower ground. And if you're haughty and mighty and think you're better, you're on the high ground. Yeah? Now what happens when the rain pours? Does it stay to the high ground? Imagine they're like a mountain high, or does it come down to the lower ground. So what Mashayikh have said is that if you're a humble person and you think good of others, imagine the rahmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it falls and that person thinks, I'm very high, I'm very high. It falls on that person. Unfortunately, imagine that person who you're being lowly and that person think they're high. No nuqsan is going to, all that happen is that the blessing is going to come and fall on you. Because you only think you're lowly. But you're thinking good of that person. You're having a good opinion of that person. It's only going to come upon you, the blessing will fall upon you. The blessings or rahmah and all these different anurats and lights will settle on you. So think good of others. Be careful of people's feelings. Keep people happy, even if it's just a smile sometimes. It's the little things that count, which you cannot even tell. Many times that many people, for example, will think, oh, this person is such a harsh person. But if they were to see a smile from your face, then they realize, wait a minute, he's not. It's amazing what a smile does. It's amazing what a little gesture of, do you need a hand, will do. Would you like an assistant here? Even though it's a little thing, but that little thing is big in sight of other people and in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We then went to Sayyidina Abdul Aziz the Barahmallah, where I received grapes and milk to drink, and I was told to the nearest minute, this milk and these days are to strengthen you and your soul. So these are different fares that the Mashayikh give in the form of drinks and milk, blessings that will actually help a person on their journey and help them with whatever they go through, especially when they do the azkars and namaz. It'll help them even better and refine them even more, provided they remain steadfast. So may Allah bless the sister for the vision that they actually had. Allah bless you all. Any other person?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Can I just mention about the spiritual salah?
Yes, go ahead.
So whilst doing the lataifs, and then everything was like seeming fine, and then after transfer, I met Hazrat Sahib in Medina Sharif, and I gave them salam and kissed their hands. But as we got up to make the saf, I opened my eyes, and that's it. After that, I couldn't really get back into it, or couldn't even, like, it kind of finished there. So that's where I struggled a bit.
Inshallah, there's hopefully more practice. Just mentioned from another seeker here is that they first they said that the Prophet ﷺ gave us salam, gave all of us salam, and then they said that one of the nasiha that the Prophet was given was that, to the nearest effect, and they were saying is that exactly what you said, to nearest effect, to help us more really, is that they were saying that we should try to become appreciative people. We should appreciate. We should appreciate more, become people of appreciation, because once you really appreciate something, then shukr comes. You really are thankful from the bottom of your heart. Once appreciation comes, when you appreciate something, then you're really thankful towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from the bottom of your heart. They gave the example, for example, prayer. Really, when you look at prayer, if you, like we were saying, is that if you appreciate the prayer, where would you be without the prayer? If you didn't have salah, how would your life be? Once you realize how wonderful prayer is and how it helps us to connect and how it helps us to refocus, then you thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ya Rabbi, thank you for giving us prayer. Another example the Prophet gave was about, for example, the Quran. You come to appreciate the Quran. What happens? You recite the Quran. Where would you be without the Quran? It's a book of guidance, Hidayah. Hidayah is there, but where would you be? So when you realize, Ya Rabbil Alameen, this is like the manual of success and how to actually live our life and conduct our life, and what should be our purpose and goals and objectives. If you didn't give us this, we were completely gumrah and lost. So then you come to appreciate more. Then they say, imagine your teacher. Where would you be without a teacher? Where would you be? You'd be completely lost. Who are you? What were you? Nothing without the teacher. Where would you be without the path? If you didn't have a path. So if you come to appreciate the teacher, if you come to appreciate the teacher, the path, then from the bottom of your heart, you can come to really be appreciative of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, really thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So be a person of appreciation. In other words, that, like, because you mentioned about salah, is that we don't give due right to the salah. In other words, that we don't really spend time in focusing and practicing. What you're doing is, what is that? Alhamdulillah, it's good that you've got to that place. It just needs practice and doing on regularity and focusing a bit more. And once you start doing that more and more, you'll find it easier, that you can open your eyes and it lasts a bit longer. So mashallah, very good what you're doing and what you just said, mashallah. Anything else?
Assalamu
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Ustad, so first I transferred and I read Isha Sunnat, and in between Isha Sunnat I had a vision, and Huzsab came and he said, it doesn't matter about your physical location, wherever you are, if you have Allah in your heart, you're with Allah. And then the vision ended. And then after I transferred, I met Huzsab in Medina, and he said a lot of Ummi saints had got a lot of fairs in Medina and had their openings here. And then he took me to Makkah and Salah, and then he said, where do you want to go now? I said, I want to have I want to have my spiritual eye open. I want to be able to see all the time. He said, you need to get married, then you'll understand, then everything will become clear. Then he brought me back to my house, my flat where I live in Oldham, and showed me my neighbors, and said, they love you and they don't want to let go of you. And my neighbor came out and he said, we feed you, we make you big, we make you strong. I said, I want you to leave me alone. And then I asked Huzsab if there was anything else, and he said no. So he said, you can go back home now, you can go back to your body. And then I came back.
Strange thing, you're asking for spiritual eye opener. You had your eye open then and you were seeing. MashaAllah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
So he brought it to me. I might as well say something. I thought I was going to take it to the brother over there. Like you said, Brother Cass, these older brothers, and we've been here so long, and it's embarrassment, we're not asking or we're not doing. I'll just say about my personal journey, personal things, And I sat down with Brother Usman, and he identifies one of the issues was, I had. So I worked on that and we cleared the issue. Then the vision, I do travel, I think I do, but there's no vision. There's no clear vision. And I will explain to you in the end, about this MURAQBA. But I just go, how should I go or should we go, the brother like me. And sit down with the brother Sajid. And I ask him to do the scan if there is any issues, there is any problem, there is any blockages. Let me know, so I'll work on it. Then he said, there is no issue, there is no problem. Just do a MURAQBA with me. I sat down with him, did a MURAQBA. He said, just keep speaking what you see and thinking. So I carried on, and he said, it's fine, it's nothing, no problem there. Then, when we went to this Morocco now, there was a couple of groups there having a problem, group A, group B, And I try to do the same thing, asking brother, And I sit down, me and brother Lala Nawaz sit down with brother Mansoor, from Denmark. We explained to him our condition. And he said, there's no issue, there's no problem there. And I come back to this MURAQBA now, not the last one, this one. When we're doing the Lataif, I carry on doing the Lataif. And after the transfer, the teachers here in this masjid here go to Hazrat Sahib, do Salam, and then I'm in Morocco, in Faz, outside the Mazar with Hazrat Sahib. Then we go inside the Mazar, we sit there. I'm sitting on the right side of the Hazrat Sahib, and Hazrat Sahib doing some kind of zikr, and I'm doing a zikr with them as well. Other brothers are there as well. And I do feel I could recognize one or two brothers, not everybody. And then from there we go to Medina Sharif. Hazrat Sahib's in front of us, and I don't felt Sheikh Sayyidi Abdul Aziz Dabag Rahmatullah with us. I just seeing the Hazrat Sahib in the front, walking behind. And we're entering the Masjid al-Nabi from Babu Salam. And Hazrat Sahib do 2 nafal, and we did 2 nafal as well. Then we drink Ab Zamzam. Then Hazrat Sahib walks further up, we followed. Go in front of the Rawza Sharif. Then Hazrat Sahib stood in the front, and we're back. Hazrat Sahib do Salam. And I am doing Islam as well, the brothers there as well. And after that, we get out of the, the Babul Baki, and walk outside on the, yard, goes into Jannatul Baqi. We enter in Jannatul Baqi, but after that, I couldn't concentrate any further. So but it's no vision clearly I see, but that's how.
Just describe how you're seeing though, because from what we're hearing, it seems to be very detailed and fine. So, explain to me is how are you when you say. This is for example, if one of the brothers were to hear that,
I'm
they
going to
say,
see the face. I can see this as such a brother.
No,
I won't mention the name.
No. What I mean is that when you were there, when you're saying you say there's, I'm not seeing. I don't know if it's half-hearted or a clarity or whatever. How are you seeing it? Is it like as if clearly you're seeing her? You're walking.
Clearly, feeling that's such a.
Not
brother.
feeling, but no. Forget the feeling.
Seeing
Hazrat Sahib. For example, you're saying you've seen Hazrat Sahib.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're saying I cannot tell. I find you cannot tell about Sayyidina Zubarahullah. When you're saying we're going to Medina Sharif, what are you? How do you know you're in Medina Sharif?
Because we're entering through the Bab of
you can see the Bab.
I can see the Bab.
So you can see Medina Sharif, and you can see the Roza Mubarak.
It's a strong feeling,
No. I'm not saying.
I've seen all these places before.
It doesn't matter, but you can see all of that, can't you?
Yeah, I think I can. Yeah, I do.
What I'm trying to say is that if I was, it doesn't matter. It means that you are seeing the modern day Medina Sharif.
Modern day
Yeah,
Medina Sharif.
that is fine. It means that you're seeing that. Believe me, honestly, you're seeing and you're there. Aap wo band kar le. Now close that door of whether I'm actually, because I've been there, I'm seeing that. You will not know if you keep on doing this. One day it's like curtain. What will happen is that it's like a curtain. There are certain things that, like I said to you about intentions and our mouths and how we're doing things, etc. Is that it'll be about intention. One day it's like a draping, what will happen? It just goes, and then you'll see the old Medina Sharif. You understand? It depends when and how and what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, at what point the Mashayikh really want to actually show you that and tell you that. By you being in the new Medina Sharif, rejoice. The fact that you're seeing with clarity, the fact that you're seeing you with Hazrat Sahib. Even I say to you see, most of the times we emphasize in the retreat. I'm going to come to Lala Nawaz next now because you mentioned them. So even when you will have to, we'll have to hear now, Lala Nawaz. You're not going anywhere now. Is that Uncle Anis put you in this position, so we have to find out now. So, Bismillah. We say many a times, for most of us, is that if we have the ability to see Hazrat Sahib, that is our destination maqsad. Is it? We don't. The reason why I say this, many times you probably are seeing or saying, why are you saying this? Even if I say to you that, if I say that even if you don't see Hazrat Sahib, this is because within Ruhani we alhamdulillah we are actually thinking. Let's say a person even spiritually you're able to see. Physically you see alhamdulillah, wo hamare kafi hai even. But if you're spiritually seeing, why? Is because that blessed spirit of Shaykh Madhubah has seen the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and we have brought our faith upon that. That blessed eye, that blessed soul, that blessed spirit of Shaykh Madhubah, they have seen the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the spirit of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and they have seen all the things. My spirit is nothing compared to the spirit of the Shaykh. And by me seeing that, alhamdulillah, I've seen everything that I need to see. Because the blessed eye and the blessed spirit of Shaykh Madhubah has seen that. You understand? That is why we say it's sufficient for us. Because all those benefits, for example, we think, they mentioned this last week about, we think that when we see a vision, something magical is going to happen to us by seeing. It's not. It's basically that it's a blessing, and if you keep on, as a motivator, keep on steadfast, alhamdulillah, is increasing your level of yaqeen. But really the amal has got to come after that. But in terms of yaqeen and belief, is that by me seeing my shaykh, I have seen the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because my shaykh's eyes have seen the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I mean the spirit of the eyes. They have seen paradise, they have seen all those different maqamas and all the different stages, etc., etc. And I'm rejoicing because I've seen my shaykh. Everything that what we as individually are seeing, okay, they're taking us. Reality is that all you're seeing is reflection of what Shaykh Madhubah has actually seen. And those, what you're saying about, Uncle Anis, you're saying about the, different, these are different levels of reflections. Some brothers are saying different levels of reflection. All we're getting, I shouldn't really say, but anyway, you're getting different levels of reaction, different degrees, but what you should be really, how you could say you should see is that, if this is what I am seeing, what is my master? Wo main dekh raha hu, brothers are having ilham with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they're conversing with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they're thinking here and different maqab, arsh of Allah, if this is, and this is a gift as a reflection for us, because this is, we are just shahid. What do we say, the brothers who are mushahada? Mushahada means witnessing. We are witnessing to what Shaykh Madhubah is witnessing. Are you understanding? Is that we're the witnesses of what Shaykh Madhubah is making, because they're the one who are opening and tapping. Now you see, now you see, now you see. You understand? So we are witnesses. We're witnessing what they're witnessing. And all you different brothers are seeing different things, is telling you the power and you could say the spiritual affairs and of our beloved master. That's what we're seeing. So this is something for you. Your mind will go haran if you start pondering these things and you think, how is this possible? This is the spirit and the power of these wonderful mashaykhs that we have, especially our master. Through them that we're actually, by seeing my master, by Shaykh Madhubah, I have seen Sayyidina Abdul Rahmullah. By seeing my master, I have seen Sayyidina Ghaus. By seeing our master, I have met all the different buzurgs. By seeing our master, I have seen Jannat, I have seen Jahannam, I have seen, because they have seen. But then I could then even take it to another level, says that even spiritually not seen, by being physically seeing my master, I have seen everything. Hence why we say the sohbat, physical sohbat, is so important. Is that now your ruhani spirit has seen them, alhamdulillah, the benefit. But by me physically being here and being in that blessed, imagine that spirit is witnessing all these different things at that time. Imagine if they're in the spirit is witnessing and is in the different courts of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, different marifah is attaining. What blessing is coming through, and if those blessings are coming through and they're witnessing that time, or they're in the mushahada of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If Hazrat Abul Abbas Mursi rahmullah was in the mushahada of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam 24 hours, and that was his state for 40 years, what sort of blessings will be permeating through our beloved master? So if they're in the mushahada of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and that's why when you say, when the company was a it's a different feeling. Your iman gets refreshed. Your motivation levels increases. That laziness that you're feeling says, hey, I got wrong, that's it. That's it, everything's gone. It's like you're a different person. Completely. Why? They're in the mushahada of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. By being that, so hence why the brothers cannot really understand this when we keep on saying is that how important it is to attend that gathering of one's master, of one's teacher, to be present, because if they are in this different anwaras and blessing they're in the mushahad of, what do you think is going to permeate to the physical zat as well? Okay, so alhamdulillah, that's why so all those brothers were saying, they were saying right. They were saying true, alhamdulillah. And you see
Another
this
experience I had only a couple of days ago.
yes.
I would finish the prayer, sitting on the musalla. I just doing a quick MURAQBA. So I felt that, I'm talking to my father. He sat in front of me. And I say, I call my father Abba. I say, Abba, if Hazrat Sahab not met us in this life, ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਕੀ ਹੋਣਾ ਸੀ? Where would we be?
Bilkul, we really would be lost. This is what the Prophet was saying, is that Sahib, really we would be completely, like I was mentioning the other day, I don't know, are you all bored or tired? Oh, okay, well, I don't know, he's trying to get away from his feedback, I can tell. I was mentioning on Tuesday actually, Hazrat Data Ganjbaksh, Hazrat Ali Ajbari Rahmullah, Sayyidina Abul Hassan bin Usman bin Ali al-Hujwari Rahmullah, they were in their book Kashf Majud, the very first introduction that they'd written in there, you can really then see, because I had this, I'll be honest with you, I had this book for about 12 years or so, 15, maybe 15 years. And when I was like, I see you younger brothers and young siblings, at that time, I opened it, I didn't really understand it. Because my understanding of the tazkiyah, the terminologies and books and so, I didn't really understand, because maybe I just left in the shelf. I said, Bismillah. I didn't really know. And nor did I know who Ali Hujwari, Rahmullah, Hazrat Ali Hujwari was. I didn't really appreciate or know. It's only mentioning on Monday Dars, the gathering, Monday's gathering, as I said, is that they mentioned before, in the past as well, but I wasn't really inclined or anything like that. I never thinking. So the other day I thought, wait a minute, I know they've written this, but I'm seeing them, I know they've written the book Kashf Majub. On Monday, on Tuesday, I thought, let me just see it. If there's such a person that said, Ghospak is saying I would be the teacher, uska mana bhi hai ek cheez, because the teaching means must be the same. It's got to be, let me just see. And the very first, I'm just going to see if I can find it for you. The very first part in which, brothers in Tuesday, they're probably thinking, why is Brother Kes killing us with the same thing again? But he was asked this question about Sufism. He was asked this question, is that the question said, explain to me the meaning of the path to Allah subhanahu in the different maqamats and stations. At his time, he was asked, this is maybe in the 4th century Hijri, about 1,000 years ago. He Rahmullah then replied, know that in our time, now listen to this. Listen to this. Because many of us, I thought that time pious people all over the place, loads of pious people, aesthetic, ulama, striving, because they're at that time of great time of Ummah where they had loads of great people and personalities. He said that know that that this is our time, in our time the science of purification tazkiyah of Sufism, this time in our age, is more or less obsolete. Not even existing. Imagine. Obsolete. Their time, are they talking about our time or their time? Is it their time? More or less obsolete, especially in this country. So they were in Afghanistan, that area, they're from that area, that region, let's say in the region they're talking about. The whole people of this country, of this area, the whole people are occupied in following the lust and desires. Aam bande, all they're doing is following the lust and desires. And kya kar diya? They've turned their backs towards the path to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ab soche, I'm thinking, this is our time. We're all too busy with dunya. And those people who are even saying we're Sufi, we're trying to follow the path of spirituality, really we're not. We're like, okay, I don't fancy it really, and then go towards dunya, and the path to spirituality is this way. That's what we've done. Now if you don't, you'll know, as everybody else, is that 10 years ago, the people showed so much shauq and joke, they had so much wanting to about spirituality and spiritual, but now you can't hardly see it anywhere really. The people are not that eager to do that. So the people have turned their backs towards the path of the pleasure, while the ulamas, we're thinking, ulamas, what they're doing, etc., why they're doing this, etc. This is what we're saying, isn't it? Look what they're saying. While the ulamas and those who pretend to be learning have formed the conception of Sufism which is quite contradictory to the fundamentals of Sufism. In other words, that they say the ulamas, they say that they know Sufiya and the Sufi path. Really, they don't even understand their base. They're going against the fundamentals of the spiritual path. Doing it, oh, how could this be? Oh, how can this be? They don't know. They pretend to know. They don't really know. That is his time. Us zamana mein. So then I thought, wait a minute, if this is the case, then they went to say that even to a certain extent, after they're mentioning people who are blindly following, for example, like Pir Mila, or Pir Fulan, oh, they're just blindly giving the hand. Now, Pucha, what is the path? How are you going to take me to it? They said, no, you should just give your hand. They're blindly following. And then people like us is mentioned here, myself here, is that the disciples, the people who say they're disciples of spiritual path, they're neglecting their aesthetic practices, their amals. They say they're murids, they say they're thinking. Now this is what Ali Hijwari Rahmah, this is what they're saying. Sayyidina Ali Hijwari Rahmah, this is what they're saying. Now these are people who say they're murids, but they're neglecting the amals. What could be? And now all you can say is that, wait a minute, I was exhausted because I'm thinking, that was their time, but this is our time. In other words, what we can conclude, and if you were to look at Sayyidina Ghosbaks as well, you'll see the same. The written similar ulamas against them, murideens, etc. Then eventually, obviously, it happened. So, in other words, that these great personalities that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brings on the face of the earth, they face these difficulties and challenges. And either we become a means of support for them, or we become the actual burden. That's not a burden for them, but we can become the burden. They have to also carry us as well. So really what we're saying here is that you will see that, people get upset, oh, why ulamas are doing this thing? Or why this Sheikh Fulan is doing this? Why is this person? Know that if they're really genuine, they could never do i'tiraz. If they're sahih, such completely kamil, if they're sheikh and they're actually ulamas, true ulamas, and they're truthful, they could never do i'tiraz. Because they'll know straight away when they see it, this is haq. And from the teaching, if I'm reading this just one page, I am able to understand. Why are they not understanding? And I am not even a scholar. So this is what I mean, is that we are people, we don't really, like you're saying, uncle, is that, may Allah bless your father, uncle, uncle's father was also a great person, such an elderly person. I feel emotion even talking about them because I can see them, their face still in front of my eyes where they actually came to their gatherings. Any trip, they're always at the trip. They're so sweet and gentle, mashallah. Allah bless them and raise their status even more. That in Waqi, it is so true that where would we be without Hazrat Sahib? Where would we be? And we're so beshukri log that I'm saying to myself, really, we're such ungrateful people that we are not really appreciating them and their teaching and not doing amal upon what they're teaching, what they're giving. So really forget our own thoughts, our ways, or whatever. So really, like the brother was given the say, melt and forget your opinions and thoughts and really melt yourself into to the love and ita'at of Hazrat Sahib, and you'll have everything, inshallah. Everything will be opened, inshallah. Inshallah, we'll finish it here. We won't get the numbers. We'll stop here, jazakallah khairan. Both जी 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 इंशाल्लाह आप ख़त्म कर दें इंशाल्लाह हाँ इंशाल्लाह we'll stop here. जज़ाकल्लाह सुब्हानक अल्लाहुम्मा बिहम्दिक अशहदु अन ला इलाहा इल्ला अंता अस्तगफिरुका व अतूबु इलैक. बारक अल्लाह फीक.